On guys, welcome to Best Basketball. For today's video, we got a mock draft review for the 2020 NBA draft. This video is kind of going over what we're seeing on 24/7 Sports and what their thoughts is on the draft. So 24/7 Sports, released by CBS. Let's see what they got. I'll let you know what I think, and let's see if I agree with them. So the first pick, Minnesota Timberwolves have Anthony Edwards, the guard from Georgia, 6'5", 225, going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Anthony Edwards is a two guard. I think the process here was that Minnesota wants to pair Anthony Edwards with Karl-Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. I think that's a good pick, man. They want that 1-2, 1-2-5 punch, similar to kind of the Warriors, right? Where you have two dynamic guards, Steph and Clay, and then you have that big man, or for theirs is Draymond. Cat is kind of like their 5, so more like an AD. So I guess Golden State Warriors 2.0. I think it's interesting, man. Anthony Edwards is extremely a great slasher, and I believe he's also a solid shooter. His numbers are 40.2% and 29.4%. So actually, I take that back. So I think it's interesting. They think Anthony Edwards has the highest potential, but what if he's just another Andrew Wiggins, right? What if he's just another number one pick who is a great player, but because he couldn't space the floor out well, they didn't respect him. But then again, they have D'Lo and Cat now. It's not just Cat and Wiggins. I know Cat can shoot. D'Angelo Russell can shoot. So interesting thing here for the Timberwolves. I can see this happening because they're not going to go with another point guard if they already had D'Lo. It's like when the Warriors had Steph and D'Angelo. Like they didn't want a 2-point guard to run the system. Number 2 pick looks like the New York Knicks take LaMelo Ball from Illawarra Hawks. So it looks like what they have going here is they have a mock draft trade where the Warriors trade out of number 2 and they get Melo Ball to the Knicks. So don't really know who they trade from the Knicks that they'd want. Do they want Julius Randle? And like that's really the only kind of attractive piece they may have, and I guess RJ Barrett. But I highly doubt that the Knicks want to move RJ Barrett for LaMelo because you'd want a trading piece. So it'd be interesting if they do that. That'd be like Julius Randle and Draymond running the team from the big side of things. But who knows? Knicks are kind of an interesting spot as well. So they say they will get LaMelo 6'6", 180. We all remember LaMelo from his time at Chino Hills. The dude's a baller. He almost purchased the Illawarra Hawks. And the only knock on Melo's game is that I guess his defense and his shooting ability. They're saying because his shot is so funky, he might end up like Lonzo. But Melo played with some grown men back in Australia this year, and he shot 25% from 3. And they have every indication that this man's gonna be an all-star guard. I like LaMelo a lot, man. I feel like he's a great player. It's unfortunate that Lonzo's shooting may kind of hamper him. Because they're like kind of comparing a shot to Lonzo's. And the only ball brother who is like a dead-eye shooter, Jello, isn't in the league. I believe he's still with the OKC practice team with the OKC Blue. So hopefully it gets to come back to the league. Number 3 is James Wiseman, Memphis Tigers to the Charlotte Hornets. I think that's interesting as well because James Wiseman is a big man. And I projected him in my mock draft to go number 2 to the Golden State Warriors because I thought they wanted kind of like a Joel Embiid big man like James Wiseman, or it'd be Steph, Clay, James Wiseman, and Draymond. You can see that in the video prior. But hey, number 3, James Wiseman, 7'1", 240 out of Memphis. They say he's gonna go great with Devontae Graham. Devontae Graham had a breakout year last year. PJ Washington and Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges is a baller. He can like slash and play great D. So I think that's interesting, man. That's a solid core with those 4, especially with Kemba being gone. It might be, who knows? It might be James Wiseman's team, especially if he goes out there. Number 4, Tyrese Halliburton from Iowa State. So that's interesting too, because I haven't been seeing Tyrese that high in a lot of mock drafts. It's usually Obi Toppin. Forgive me if I said your name wrong, but I like Obi a lot. But Tyrese from Iowa State. So it looks like they want to pair him with Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter Jr. That's a pretty solid core if you think of it. He played at Iowa State. So the question is kind of, do they want to draft another point guard with Kobe White? Because they just got Kobe White, and he was like an assist, very good with assists during his time at UNC. So we'll see if they want another point guard. Number 5, it's Obi Toppin. So this is where I saw more or less the Bulls picking. But it looks like they have him going to the Cavs, and that's interesting because Obi was efficient from the field. He averaged 20 points and 63.3% from the field. A lot of people saying his game is like AD, but he says his game is more like Amari Stoudemire, and he can definitely score. So I think it'll be interesting for the Cavs because they have Andre Drummond, right? And Colin Sexton. So do you want to pair like a good 4 or 5 with Drummond, or maybe you find another 2 guard that you're looking for? So hopefully we'll see what happens there. Next, number 6 is Onyeka Okongwu. So they actually play ball. Him and LaMelo play ball at Chino Hills together. I believe he went to USC after Chino. LaMelo went his way to Lithuania, then Spire, and then to Australia for the Illawarra Hawks. So Onyeka Okongwu was a freshman. He's a great rim protector. He averaged 16.2 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, and 61.6% shooting. So he's very versatile and can score and play great defense. Similar to like your Bam Adebayo type of player. He has 7-foot wingspan. So that's interesting too, because the Hawks got Trae Young, right? And then they also have Cam Reddish. So they have a great wing. And then I believe John Collins is playing center. So do you want kind of like 2 guys with similar styles playing? I can see this. Maybe they move John to the 4, keep Onyeka Okongwu at the 5, kind of similar role to how Bam's doing. So kind of like how he's playing really well against the Bucks. Maybe they go with Onyeka Okongwu. He's extremely versatile. Killian Hayes. So this is the first international player we're seeing on the board right now. 6'5" point guard, 6'9" wingspan. Don't really know much about Killian, but they are saying he's a point guard, and they'd go well with the Detroit Pistons. Right now they got D Rose running the point, so maybe he's the point guard of the future because they traded Reggie Jackson. D Rose played super well yesterday. Can you guys see Blake Griffin, D Rose, and Killian Hayes balling out together in Detroit? Number 8, so it looks like the Warriors switched places with the Knicks and got a point guard. Nope, I'm sorry, small forward. So the Knicks made the trade with the Warriors in this mock draft, and we have Deni Avdija. And apologies for saying your name wrong, but so it looks like he is a big wing who has a great 3-point stroke. And I find this interesting, man. Like, do you want this individual who is a great 3-point shooter? The last, I guess, great player to come out of Israel was Omer Caspi, who was a former Warrior, and he can shoot the ball pretty well. And I believe he got released during that year they played, but he was a good 3-point shooter. He was backing up KD. So next for the Washington Wizards at number 9 was Isaac Okoro, which is another player from the Auburn Tigers from the SEC represented. So they got 2 guys from the SEC. We got Andy Edwards and Isaac Okoro. So guys from Georgia and from Auburn, which is where Isaac's from, which is cool because usually SEC schools are mainly for football schools, right? You don't really see many NBA players coming out there. Like I believe last great player was Colin Sexton from Bama. So let's see what we got here. Isaac Okoro, and I find this interesting pick because they already have Rui Hachimura. So Wizards take a 3-and-D type of guy. Apparently plays great defense. His NBA offense is kind of a question, but maybe he can be a 3-and-D where he shoots the ball. Back in Auburn, he averaged 13.4 points and was all SEC all defensive team and all SEC second team selection. Number 10, Cole Anthony. So we got a point guard going to the Phoenix Suns. So it is kind of cool because I actually like this pick here because the Suns, they went undefeated in the bubble, right? And they had Devin Booker step up like crazy. They had DeAndre Ayton play really well. And Cole Anthony's dad, I believe Greg Anthony, is a former NBA player. I like him a lot. And I think he can do really well, and they need that point guard of the future. I remember the point guard situation hasn't been the best since Steve Nash left. Well, they had Goran Dragic and Isaiah Thomas. You guys remember that? Then they had Tyler Ulis playing point, and then right now I believe it's Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio played really well, and I think Ricky Rubio can be a really good player. He could shoot a lot better, but the boy can distribute the ball. I like Cole Anthony a lot. I remember Kendall Marshall too was the last North Carolina point guard to come to the Suns, so we'll see. Next, number 11, you see the Spurs, which is really weird being in the NBA lottery because they're always in the playoffs, but they got Devin Vassell from Florida State coming in, so a three for them, a small forward, 6'7", 194. The last 6'7" guy to ball out for the Spurs was Kawhi, so we'll see. But he averaged 12.7 points per game, 41.5% from three, so a 3-and-D guy. Number 12, we had the Kings going SEC again with Crimson Tide point guard Kira Lewis Jr. That's interesting because they already have De'Aaron Fox, right? And they have another SEC guy going to the lottery, which looks like SEC is coming up. But I guess the argument here was that Fox can play off ball, and then they could have Kira Lewis Jr. playing for dribbling the ball. Number 13, we have Aaron Nesmith from Vanderbilt. He's a small forward at 6'6". He's another 3-and-D guy. He shot 52% from the field and averaged 23 points a game. So another SEC player, which is pretty cool. I like it for the Pelicans because they have Zion. They also have Lonzo, Josh Hart, and it's interesting because they have Jackson Hayes at the 5, and then they have Derek Favors at the 4. Maybe this is their future 3 because they already got BI, so maybe he's another 3-and-D guy. They moved BI to the 4, so we'll see. And then we got number 14 to round out the lottery. It's Saddiq Bey from Villanova. Villanova has a huge kind of winning program, so I like this pick. It looks like the Celtics are going with kind of another 3-and-D guy. So you're seeing a lot of these 3-and-D small forwards all throughout the mock draft. And it's interesting that the Celtics still have this pick because they've been so successful these past few years, making it deep into the playoffs. And it's good to know that they're able to still draft, kind of keep their team like loaded with draft picks. So they already have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who are the future. Maybe Saddiq Bey plays a great role with the team, and he learns from those guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the mock draft lottery. We use 24/7 Sports, which is CBS website, to kind of show you this mock draft. Let me know what you think, man. I like the first pick. The second pick was kind of weird for me, how Melo got traded from the Warriors to the Knicks. I don't really see that happening because who would the Warriors want unless they get like more draft picks from the Knicks, and they do it that way. But I don't see that. I see the Warriors going for like a superstar within the draft. So we'll see. Comment below if you agree with this. Comment below your top 14 lottery picks, and yeah, we'll see you guys later. Follow Best Basketball, turn on notifications, and subscribe, guys. Peace. Have an amazing day.